Here we go.
All
Plug
right.
one.
Plug two.
Plug one.
Pluck one, pluck two. What you know about them, Chad? What's
it.
their name?
De La Soul. I just plug
Wait.
one. Plug
Snap,
two.
snap, snap. Hello.
I got
this is the opening of.
They actually celebrated the 10th anniversary of their first album by offering it all for free. If
What?
it's still for free, I'll send you links to it. It was really easy to download. I updated my iTunes.
Of course, you are listening to PB&J. This is the opening of PB&J. We wanted to start off in a different way. Instead of talking about my peach brother beside me, talking about De La Soul and this brown sister forgetting the name of the group she partially grew up on. Can I get a pound? You can't hear it, but we did it.
It was a pound.
But really, the way we wanted to start off on March 1st was with Rudy Rudacious. He's giving us a taste right now. I got this from his FB page. Of course, he's my friend. And he was at the Lizard Lounge on February 16th at their 15th-ish, I think. 15th-ish anniversary. And this is what...
This smells like cigarette clouds of smoke. Inside project hallways reeking of piss, with the stained scent of fried food lingering in from the Chinese spot next door. This is hotter than a two-time felon speeding in a stolen whip, a dirty Glock resting in the glove box, crack rocks sitting in pockets while dirty cops flash lights and sirens behind them. This is scarier than walking dolo down dark alleys, a gunless waist, hands gripping the handle to a 10-grand filled briefcase of drug money that sealed a target on your head. This is just a code.
And that is a taste of Rudy Rudacious. Of course, that was the poem that he busted, and yes, I was there at the Lizard Lounge on their anniversary. I had to go represent. Of course, you're listening to Tony B of PB&J. I'm here with
Chad Parenteau.
And we're just coming right out the box, just doing our podcast like we do. I think it's been like a month since they heard us.
About a month since the week of the Chinese New Year. And big shout out, because this is the Oddball Hour, to Jason Wright, who couldn't be with us today, but we're carrying on in his name and in his magazine's name.
Yes, we are. Of course, you're going to hear about some info about Oddball. Of course, updates about what we've been doing. We've been doing the thing. But of course, we have to come out the rip and pay respects to who? The man who just been coming for maybe a few decades. The man who we love to see when he waltzes through the door. But lately, tell us about the waltz of the man named...
Billy Barnum, William J. Barnum.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Barnum, for those of you who don't know or have been under a rock in Boston regarding the poetry scene, is decades-long performer, heir to the Barnum, I don't know if necessarily an heir, but a part of the Barnum family legacy, as in P.T. Barnum. He had a just less than a month ago, got treated for it, but since then he's been using a walker to get around. He's actually been using the walker to perform as well.
Yes, I saw him. He came a couple of weeks ago to Stone Soup at on Prospect Street in Cambridge. How is he? Did he come over the past couple of weeks?
Over the past couple of weeks since that day, no. And I think he's getting a little, actually in the words of Bob Johnson, who is his caretaker, he is not doing very well mentally regarding the walker. He's feeling very insecure about it. And Bob Johnson, we have to give mad props to as well, because Bill Barnum, given how old he is, has had more than a share of falls. I mean, he is a man of unlimited stamina. I would do workshops with Tom Daly deep in Cambridge, which is not easily accessible by public transportation, by bus or by train. And Bill Barnum actually one time during the snowfall actually walked from, I think, Central Square all the way to Tom Daly's house, which meant he got there almost an hour and a half late for a 2-hour workshop. And this is about maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And he was able to do that. But unfortunately, you can only go so far, even with such Bill Barnum has. And he had a bad fall almost 10 years ago, and since then, he's been requiring an aide to get him back and forth, to literally drive him back and forth from his home in Boston. And Bob Johnson has been a rock and has even participated on the open mic a couple of times, has brought his girlfriend there. They're kind of a mini family that comes to Stone Soup whenever they can. It's always a joy to see them.
Is Bob the fella who brings him every week?
Yes, he is. He brings him every week.
And he published this piece I want to read to you all really quick.
Yes.
A little bit of how he starts off his letter, which was posted on Facebook, I want to say at the end of February. And it starts off...
Actually, yes, just February 27th, and we're going to give you everything in the letter except for Bill Barnum's address. I don't want to make that public, but if you're a member of Stone Soup's email list, or friends on Facebook, or a member of the Stone Soup Facebook group, you can definitely get this information. And we'll tell you now why that information, such as his street address and his phone number, was sent out. I'll let you read, Tony.
Dear Poets and Mimes, as Billy Barnum's chief caregiver, I am writing on behalf of him. Recently, after his last fall about a month ago, Bill has been going through some major life changes. He is very depressed at having to use his walker, always sensitive to pain and plagued by fears and anxieties. These are increasing, and he is terrified of being alone with the demons in his mind. Bob goes on to say, he gives examples of what happened in the hospital. He talks about Mass General. He was taken by ambulance because he was nervous about, some stuff that was going on in his chest. And, he really calls on his friends. He says, if you or anyone you know have a deep knowledge of poetry and would like to keep Bill company for a few hours, let me know. And that's Bob?
That is Bob.
If you can't visit him, then please write him a card. Cards written to him are almost as valuable as a visit to help him feel less isolated. So Billy Barnum, he holds it down. Boston poetry scene, and he stretches his hands forth. This octogenarian with a history needs us, and we're calling out to the people, aren't we, Chad? We're telling them to give him some help. Of course, how can we connect concerning Billy Barnum? I want to really say that really quick after I read this, because we want you all to give Billy Barnum support. And as Chad said, he wants you to connect with him directly online. He can give you that information to call or write Billy Barnum. I mean, enough respect, this is a podcast. We ain't putting Billy Barnum's joint out there, even though his caregiver did. We'd rather you all connect with us, right, through Stone Soup?
That's correct. This is a call for outstretched arms and outstretched towards Bill. And already I've gotten a heck of a response from people just since in the last 24 hours I've posted this. A lot of people promising to send him cards, poems, maybe a book or two, and hopefully to come over and just speak with him. I visited him in the past, and he's very resilient, and for him to be plagued by these kind of emotions. Even when he had pneumonia and I saw him then, he was already writing up a storm and just telling me stories behind the origins of some of his poems.
Oh, that's something to listen to.
And I hope we actually hear some of that or read some of that. Michael F. Gill, occasional Stone Soup co-host, who will actually be with us later on this March, more on that later. He did a sit-down interview with Bill Barnum and transcribed quite a bit of Bill Barnum's stories, which Bob Johnson has been trying to get people to do for a while. I'm hoping that sees the light of day very soon, especially in light of recent events. And I've been hoping to do a lot more with Bill, too. Unfortunately, time is a factor not just for Bill Barnum and just for Bill Barnum's caretaker and all his friends, but for all of us out there. So anything you can do, whether it's a handwritten note, a book signed to Bill.
Let's give that information to them about how to contact Stone Soup so y'all can contact Billy Barnum.
The Stone Soup Poetry at yahoo.com is the easiest way to reach me. Also on Facebook, the Stone Soup Poetry Facebook page is easily searchable. It's not
Google.
It's not a secret group, but you do need to join to be part of the updates.
Google.
Exactly.
And of course, we're on Facebook too. I say we. Of course, I'm PB&J down with the Stone Soup and Oddball family. It is Saturday, March 1st, and we have spoken to you a little bit about Billy Barnum, a little bit about my Peach Brother Noah, and about De La Soul. Of course, we be unified up in this piece, and we have the Stone Soup Oddball PB&J hour. We might go an hour. We might go more. You know, we got some more things to tell you. Thank you letting us know about, you know, our beloved. Of course, we can't be in Boston and our historic town and not give love first and foremost to our historic people who are living, embracing them. Matter of fact, I need to go see Mel King. But you also heard from us already, Rudy Rudacious. We're going to more about Rudy Rudacious, but I do want to say, of course, what have I been doing? Ken, what have I been doing? I'll just tell you real quick. Real quick. Lizard Lounge, that was fat. I've gone to Lizard Lounge and Stone Soup in the past month. Of course, y'all know I'm on that mommy stuff. And my baby be balling. She's doing good at her school, and basketball season is over, Chad. It was just over. And it's ending now. My baby's been doing good. I went to the Lizard Lounge. Happy birthday, big ups to Jeff Robinson. That was a wonderful show on February 16th. Of course, I stayed to the end. Reggie Gibson, all the all-stars, all three queens. Janae Johnson was in the house. Portia O. What's my girl's name? The Peach Sister got my hair nappy. Everybody was in the house, and it was beautiful. And Rudy Rudacious was too. It was really a great thing. Also, in February, I was wanging it. Y'all know I be wanging it. And I was going around from city to city, Cambridge, Boston. I did 18 runs of reading the I Have a Dream book by Kadir Nelson. That was awesome. I wrote some blogs on the Wang website. Y'all need to check that out. Do you read my blogs?
I'm going to have to connect those on the Stone Soup Facebook page. I didn't know you were writing those.
You're so nice. Wait, read my blogs. Y'all read my blogs. But then books. So on the travel, guess where we got to go, Chad?
Where's that?
My dream was fulfilled. We got to go to the hospital. And at the hospital, Chad's going to jump on me about this. There was somebody at the hospital who he read to. And guess what? They are a published author. And they were talking about superheroes and the whole theme of the I Have a Dream, Dr. Martin Luther King speech. Oh, it just really thrilled me. Anyway, you got to read my blogs to see what's up. But I do want to say that young person inspired me to be published. So I need to be on the publishing tip.
I'm helping her with that, people.
And getting my classes. Yes, Chad has already
published. If Tony's family is
me.
listening to this, we're getting on that.
Yes, I've already published. And also, while we've been off the air, one last thing I do want to say is Chad is helping me publish. I do want to mention that I published in Minutes of Twilight on the Stone Soup page, Oddball page. It's all linkable, but the Stone Soup page on Facebook. And, I published it. The wondrous Chad, published it with the artwork of who?
Oh, that was the art. I'm trying to think. It was the artwork of Allison Golden.
That's awesome, wonderful sister whose work just bedecks in a wonderful way. So you have to go check it out.
Yes.
But that's enough about me. In this PB&J hour, it is in the 5 o'clock hour. No, so go ahead, Chad. Let me stop.
This is why Tony B is in charge of this whole thing. Not just because she has the Mac amongst a sea of PCP users.
For them.
Yeah, I'm a creature of habit.
But Chad, what are you doing? You have gotten, it is March 1st, and so you have gotten over the sniffles, mostly.
For the most part, yeah.
Publishing this. What have you been doing, Chad?
Well, we've been doing the Stone Soup servings column, which Tony B appeared in. And I should also add that Tony B's poem in Minutes of Twilight also was published in the 3 TV column of Oddball magazine. So it was actually text and audio, and very well delivered audio, I might add. Mm-hmm. As of May 1st, we've published Bill Perot in the Stone Soup servings column, because Bill Perot, who is the Stone Soup videographer, documenter, producer of the Stone Soup TV show that airs both in Cambridge and Lowell Public Access, he's featuring this Monday, March 3rd, as part of his annual birthday feature, which, given how much work he does pro bono for Stone Soup, I am only too happy to give it to him. And
he records our videos every week, folks, at 106 Prospect. Stone Soup, right?
Yes, he does. Boom. And he also, because it is a feature and because he likes to have long features to record, he is bringing along a friend to open up for him, and people will be excited that his opener this year is John Sturm, the man who I term the orator extraordinaire, recites entire poems in memory. He's lately been going
Shakespeare?
He's been doing the Shakespeare He's been doing the Shakespeare the catalog, almost going through almost all the sonnets. I think he did 40 through 50 the last time, and very off the cuff, and didn't even have to pause. It was pretty fantastic, and he'll be the opener next week. And March 10th, I am very excited for the return of Minion Ariel King. Minion, if you are listening, Minion, we love you, we miss you, and we hope this is going to be a long feature. We hope you wrote extra minutes into your feature. You go for 30, because it's been too long since the last time you were there. I know you live far away. That's why what makes this feature all the more special. Minion has published a poetic memoir-based collection of poetry called What Good is a View of the Charles. She calls this the second in a trilogy within a trilogy, and I'm very excited to... I've seen one or two of the poems. I've actually, as part of the Stone Soup Workshop, I've actually seen one or two of the poems that are likely in this book, and I can tell you're going to be in for a treat.
Yes.
Minion has, I guess the first book of her trilogy is The Woods Have Words, which is from Ibbotson Street Press. And I think this book is coming out through her own imprint, Hidden Charm Press. She's both the publisher at Hidden Charms Press and of Telltale Chapbooks. And I'm very excited to have her there. I'm hoping that it is a packed house, as only she deserves. So, Minion, can't wait to see you. Tony B's looking forward to it. Everyone's looking forward to it.
I sure am. Am I hosting? I'm hosting.
You are hosting, and Minion, hopefully I see you this coming April at the Poetry Festival at the Copley Square Public Library. Hopefully, I got my time slot. If I got my time slot, you should have yours.
Wow.
Gemma Cooper-Novak is going to be the feature on the 18th, and also to note, it brings back occasional host I mentioned earlier, Michael Ev Gill, who will be introducing her.
Yeah.
Cooper-Novak is regular at the Brighton Word Factory, which is a private group that meets at Michael F. Gill's apartment on a regular basis, once every 2 weeks, to do writing workshops and writing prompts. And they produced a lot of work that is already out there and published in a variety of journals, and has also been performed at Stone Soup. The most high-profile product of the Brighton Word Factory was this past feature the closing feature of 2013 with Patrick Shaughnessy's and his book Her Name Was Not Brighton. So I'm very looking forward to that. We have a surprise feature on the 24th. I can't mention him at all. I guess I've already mentioned it's a he, but
oops. Okay, that's all you get.
And he will not be filmed at Stone Soup, and he will not be having a poem in that week's Stone Soup servings. What I'm going to do that week will hopefully be a special surprise, but he's requested that I withhold the information until he is ready to divulge, and hopefully he's ready to divulge next week. I'm very excited that he's there. It's someone I've wanted there for a long time, and also exciting is the person who will be closing out for the 31st. I'm talking about Rick McIntyre, people.
All right.
Rick McIntyre had issues regarding his car and other things, and his GoFundMe, actually not even his GoFundMe, the GoFundMe that a friend raised created for him, raised a great deal of money, so he's actually able to make that feature and hopefully sell many copies of his new book, his book with a spine, as we term it in the poetry self-published poets world. He's got a book with a spine. Came from an actual publisher, and I am dying to get a copy of this, and I am dying to see Rick McIntyre and hopefully a score of other returning friends, because I don't think Rick has an upcoming feature in the Boston area, at least anytime soon. Hopefully he'll be at the Poetry Festival, but that's only 7 to 10 minutes. This is a full 20 to 30 minute full-length feature.
Soup, end of March.
Which is at the Out of the Blue Gallery on 106 Prospect Street, just a hop, skip, and as I say, 87 jumps away from the Central Square T-stop. I've timed it. I've counted it.
Now, don't front. You're talking about Minion. You're talking about Minion being published. You have published some limericks. Of course, we're coming out of the season of the Olympics, and I'm pretty sure that Chad has been doing something around limericks. This is March anyway.
It's the Limerick Olympics.
The Limerick Olympics.
Say that 3 times fast, you get a toaster.
He's been publishing this on last
The last-ish word.
Last-ish word.
I'm very famous for the ish phrase. If I say the open mic starts around 8-ish, i.e. whenever I get there, the feature goes on 9-ish at Stone Soup, i.e. whenever the open mic ends.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to carry my unique and barely chuckle-emitting sense of humor to the title of my new ongoing humor column, which I am co-authoring, collaborating with George Panagopoulos, who's a comedian and humorist and cartoonist. Basically, we pick a topic. He does the drawings, he does the illustration, and now he's actually doing the comics in color.
Ooh,
and,
nice!
actually,
I saw them in black and white.
Occasionally, he does them in color. I should say only occasionally, because I think last week's was definitely in color for the first time, and this week's I've gotten an advanced look at the comics, and I think they're both in black and white this week. But hopefully next time. But either way, it's good work.
So limericks, about 4 or 5 lines. I've been reading
limericks that complement the artwork that George does, and it's. I think that we just finished our first month, and we're going into month 2, and it's going strong. That's every Tuesday, following Jason Wright's Jagged Thoughts column at Oddball Magazine at oddballmagazine.com.
Now check it out, y'all. We're going to get back to listen a little bit, take a pause and listen to Rudy Rudacious again. Didn't I tell y'all that he is down with the Lizard Lounge fam? I think that brother's from Providence, but I just want to big up to Rudy Rudacious. He's been on the scene at Lizard Lounge for a while. He might have even been a Lizard Lounge king before. Big ups to Cole Rodriguez. I just want to say that because shout-outs. Can I do some shout-outs? Shout-outs to who? Shout-outs to who before we hear Rudy Rudacious? Shout-outs to Follow the Honey down there near Harvard Square. Of course, Mary Canning. And the Honey Spot. Shout-outs to who else?
I always like to give an obligatory shout-out to the Whole Foods across from Out of the Blue for not towing anybody who parks there.
Ooh.
I like to keep my karma good, thank you.
All right, shout out. And
Guys,
shout out to Jason Wright, of course, who's not here right now.
Big love to Jason.
Ooh, let's hear what Rudy Rudacious has to say.
Trading philosophies between every puff pass. And although I admire sun-filled springtime imagery, my vision be filled with moonlit cold similes. I'm filled like cement streets, so dirty. The clean color gray of fresh concrete is stained away, but gangster would never fit my description. This belligerence is spawned from neglect, because no matter how educated I get to a degree in this world, I'm just a spit, so I recite like it's a fight. Hype to throw punchlines. I've been jumped into rap ciphers. The tension was so thick, you could stab it with an ice pick. I still manage to step with everyone's respect. Your favorite rapper's favorite poet. I be that hip-hop, spoken word hybrid, wrecking shows without violence, pinpointing treasures under spots and X marks, searching for the tender heart.
Wow, the hybrid, Rudy Rudacious. Of course, we got a big up. Shout outs to the man who made all of this possible, Jeff Robinson, host and host extraordinaire. Of course, we have to do shout outs. Give us another shout out, Mr. Before we do our announcements. Give us a shout out, Chad.
This will be both a shout out and an announcement.
Hey.
Joe Govea, who we talked about in the last podcast, his Joe Govea Cancer Recovery Fund, as he's recovering and hopefully going under chemo in the next few months. I sent him an email not too long ago seeing how he's doing. His poetry has been published in video form and in regular text pretty substantially in Oddball over the last few months, as have tributes, and we're still looking for tributes. His book is hopefully coming out in the next few weeks. He has a brand new book that's being published, and I told him that I definitely want to feature him at Stone Soup. I would love this to be a triumphant return. We haven't seen him since
Summer?
Since late September, when we had the 100,000 Poets for Change.
I was there.
You were there. A lot of us were there, and it was a small. In reality, it was a small event, but very memorable. And I'm actually, hopefully, talking to some people to bring the event into Boston proper. Last time it was at the Out of the Blue Art Gallery, and we were kind of sharing space almost competitively with another group that I wasn't expecting to be there because Tom double booked, unfortunately. But it was an honest mistake. But,
go, Tom, go.
But it was an interesting mashup because some of the performers that night were actually part of the open. One or two of the performers from that night, they were actually preparing the Out of the Blue for a crazy performance, and some of them actually got on the open mic at the 100,000 Poets for Change event, which was pretty cool.
So Joe Govea, shout out to Joe Govea from the infamous, famous Chad Parenteau, of course, who I have to announce first. It's the PB&J show, and this is announcement time, and we're going to talk about Stone Soup every Monday night, right?
At 8:30, from 8 to 10, the Out of the Blue Art Gallery. We should also mention this is the PB&J hour without the J, so it's just peanut butter.
Yeah, you've
and
just
obviously the PB is sticking to the roof of my mouth, which is why I'm stuttering every 5 seconds. But
that's good.
What are you gonna do?
You've been working hard, but he's working hard enough to keep it maintained. And of course, you'll see Bill Perot this March. You'll see Bill Perot. You'll see Minion. You'll see Jenna, Cooper-Novak. So make sure you come to Stone Soup every Monday, 106 Prospect Street in Cambridge, 87 steps, he says, from Central Square. Tell us about Zeke Russell. He's coming.
Zeke Russell is coming. This is a shout out to one of the Cantab organizers, one of the people behind the Cantab podcast, the Boston Poetry Slam podcast. His name is Zeke Russell. He's been a frequent Stone Soup feature. I'm hoping to work with him someday at maybe doing an extension of Stone Soup somewhere down the road. We talked about it, but then our lives kind of got in the way. And Zeke, just so you know, I still haven't forgotten. But the point is that he's done 3 fabulous features for us now. He has 2 chapbook collections. I'm hoping he does another one for his upcoming feature, which is at the Cantab 2 Wednesdays from now on March 12th, and I definitely plan to be there, sir.
March 12th, Zeke Russell at the Cantab. Shout outs to the Cantab. Shout outs to Zeke Russell.
Zeke is a departing organizer at the Mill City Poetry Slam, which is, of course, located in Lowell. And he's also a host of numerous events in Jamaica Plain. I'm so looking forward to this. I hope he does have another collection of poems, at least in a small chapbook. His last one, In My Year of Not Dying, is one of the best chapbooks I've read in the last year or so. And I'm hoping he still has copies of that. I think his books are very affordable for $5. Lovingly illustrated and designed by, actually the last one I know was designed by Melissa Newman Evans, if I am correct. If I'm not, I apologize. But you definitely want to grab those. Hopefully he'll have copies of both that and his collection poems for dead people.
Oh, gosh.
It sounds morbid, but remarkably upbeat at the same time. It's and I hope he does more stuff around Lou Reed and other recent deaths in the last few months, because he's able to be timely and pretty poignant at the same time.
Well, speaking of JP, I do want to say shout outs to Ja D. I think it's Ja D and Dana D. Ruff, who I've been seeing out and about town. I know that they have been, I do want to announce that I have been seeing spare change, that they have been doing a flash mob over the past couple of months, so I want to shout out to them. And speaking of JP, that kind of area, they have a poetry event called If You Can Feel It, You Can Speak It. Check out those 2 people. You can Google that and find out where that is. I ain't got all the details right in front of me, but check that out. I do want to shout out to them because they be doing it hard and they down with the diverse. Also, Lizard Lounge, Jeff Robinson Trio. On Sunday the 2nd, they got Sophia Snow. And on the 9th, they're going to host Laura Miners. Get down there. Make sure you have your Jeff Robinson drink and just mingle with the people. It's very open. Of course, you know a little bit of something about Verbalization, because Verbalization has an upcoming event, but this young lady was featured. She featured with me a few months ago, right? I mean, a few weeks ago. Right, Chad?
I believe so. You were just telling me about her as she as we were loading up for today. And again, for those of you listening, this is the Oddball Hour with PB&J. Mad props to Jason Wright, who couldn't make it here.
We miss you, Jason.
We really do. I should also mention right now, before I forget, is Jason was working hard last night with T.G. Edson, an artistic contributor to Oddball, and who has designed a couple of the logos, and they're actually trying to do a site overhaul on Oddball, and I'm hoping to We're hoping to display a couple of those results sooner rather than later. I can't give you details because I have seen nothing. I've just only heard the smatterings and the background noise of TJ talking about Jason saying, "How's this look? How's this look?" While Jason's talking to me about podcasts and other things.
Now, of course, big ups, Mr. Wright, of course. But the day before Zeke is at Cantab,
March 11th, gotcha.
Who's coming up? Who do we know? Her name is
iRose.
And she's going to be at
Verbalization, and she did feature with Tony B at Stone Soup, and
she'll be there on March 11th.
iRose was fantastic. iRose just
really
basically
is.
had she performed for Tony almost spontaneously.
Yeah.
She did have prepared music from that was just on a flash drive and played on the less than stellar speakers out of the blue because it was just attached to a computer.
But it didn't matter because she was.
She totally killed.
So please, VCR, brother VCR, down there in Hibernian Hall and Roxbury, please go see iRose at Verbalization Tuesday, March 11th. Go to Cantab. This is why I love being in the city of Cambridge, in the Boston area, because you have all these places to just go to. There is Sunday Lizard Lounge. There is Monday Stone Soup. And of course, we can't go further without mentioning Mr. Jason Wright. We're sweating you a little, Jason, because we know that you know somebody that we know whose name is Ganem. He be having events at the right there at the
You're talking about the Middle
following.
East?
Yep. So I was there on the corner. Big ups to Matt Ganem, who's there on the corner now every Mondays. And I think Jason and Matt, don't we have something coming up? Speaking of announcements,
they are featuring the first Monday of April, and Jason Wright's going to be opening up. And Matt Ganem's going to be doing the full portion of the feature, but it's a great combo, and I've been wanting to pair them up for a long time because Jason and Matt have a lot of respect for each other, and it just seems natural to put them together for this event and helping to kick off National Poetry Month too. Hoping to get a lot of returning new friends at Stone Soup, and hopefully a lot of new voices too. And there have been a lot of new voices coming to Stone Soup, so I want to thank all of those who have been coming and
Lizard Lounge Facias. I have big ups to Art Collins from a B-Town, I think native. Yes, that's right. We've been seeing different people. Mr. Michael F. Gill, I heard your name pass by us, and we will see you soon. Yes, we got a big up to our other neighbors. I also want to say Nava the Butterfly. She featured too. So, we're pulling in new people with our sneaky little ways, with our Stone Soup House, a place where you can sit on the couch and feel a little bumps, but you'll be treated like family.
My only regret being a poetry organizer is that half the events we've been mentioning I won't be able to go to right away.
That's okay, as long as you let them know.
Exactly. I am glad to at least do that service. And iRose, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry in advance if I can't make it to that show, but I'm glad I can promote the hell out of it. And your stuff was pretty spectacular at Stone Soup not too long ago. About 2-3 weeks ago now. God, it feels like longer, but definitely memorable, and it was great to have you there.
Of course, we're going to talk to you all a little bit more about some deadlines that are coming up, some things that you should be paying attention to with Stone Soup and Oddball, because, we publish so much. I'm just going to let Chad let you know all the stuff we do during the week and how available we want your work. We review your work, we dig it, or we don't. Hey, we're the editors, and we publish with Stone Soup. PB&J crew encourages people to publish with Stone Soup and Oddball. And before we listen, I think we'll swing out of here with Rudy Rudacious of the Lizard Lounge fame and Providence too. But before we swing out here, we do really want to urge you all again, dear poets and mimes. I love the way Bob started it off. Dear poets and mimes. That's real talk.
Bill Barnum has spoke with Marcel Marceau and actually learned under him.
Please. The eldest of us, the one who has been there for us. Hey, we all got our stuff, and Billy's stuff is right now he's not able to move. He's so fluid, if you've ever seen him. Even at the last reading, the last time we seen him, he was quite fluid. But Billy Barnum of Barnum fame, please give him some love. Also, but
If you have anything that you want to send and don't want to send to snail mail or can't afford to, just or if you just want to pass a word on ASAP, just send it to me at stonesoupoetry@yahoo.com. I'll be checking out the forums. I'll be checking out the email inbox regularly and sending whatever I can to him via Bob Johnson. Bill Barnum is not familiar with the web, but he is still on the web. Do a search for him on YouTube and see what you get. You'll see a combination of videos from stuff that was published on Oddball, stuff that was published on Stone Soup's online journal Spoonful, stuff that was just published on the web from friends, including Bob Johnson, and even from the extensive library of people like Mick Cusimano, who does the Squawk Open Mic.
On Thursdays, right?
Yes.
Down there in Harvard Square.
And also a man that is known as Uncle Scam. That's one of his aliases, but he was the videographer for Stone Soup and Naked City Coffee House for a long time. He started to put videos of all the classic performers from Cambridge and Boston's past, and Bill Barnum is just one of the most prominent ones on there.
80-something years old. Let's give him the love. I did buy his book. That is a wonderful way to support him. I bought his book, and I will be reading his poetry aloud while he is alive. Maybe I'll bust, matter of fact, I shall bust some of that, along with a bit of movement, if Billy Barnum allows me to, on March 10th. Why not give him homage while he is still here? And also, I do want to say, before Chad, let me just chatter a little bit before you make your announcements.
Sure.
I do want to say it's amazing the gratitude of people's hearts. Black History Month was last month. I told you I did the I Have a Dream book reading, illustrations by Kadir Nelson. I went around the cities, but one thing I did do is go to the hospital. And one thing we did need was extra books. And I asked my Facebook friends. So 5 books came in the mail at the City Performing Arts Center Education Department, and now we're going back and giving that to the hospital that we visited. So I do want to say shout outs to Facebook. We're referring you back to Google. We're referring you back to the www dots because, and I'm referring you right now and just saying, passing this information that you will find from Chad on to other people in our World Wide Web just gives Billy Barnum more love. So, Chad, please use our resources. And Chad, tell them how to get in touch with you again about Billy Barnum.
stonesoupoetry@yahoo.com is one. The next, of course, is just searching for us on Facebook. Stone Soup Poetry is very easy to find on a Facebook search. It's a group that you'll have to ask me to join, but once you do, you'll have access to all that information. And the Stone Soup Yahoo group, which is accessible via the Stone Soup website at stonesoupoetry.blogspot.com. That's an older site. Not a lot of people use Yahoo groups anymore, but it is at least 100 strong on there of Bill Barnum's friends and Stone Soup faithfuls. So that spread a lot of information already as well. So I want to give a shout out to everyone on the Yahoo group, everyone on the Facebook group,
and to the 3 hosts.
And
you can, if anybody in www.land is listening to us, and Chad Parenteau, P, B, Tony B, and Jason Wright, you can directly connect with us on Facebook, and we will pass this information on to you as well. I do want to, before we get out of here, I do want to say, Chad, let us know. You all know about Billy Barnum. We've given you updates on us. It's March 1st, and we're about to head out of here in the PB&J hour with Chad Parenteau.
And Tony B.
And Jason.
Right.
Who's not here tonight. But we still wanted to come at you, let you know what's going on in March 2014. Of course, we're going to be at the Poetry Festival in the top of May in Salem. Make sure you put that on your calendars. But before we go, Chad, you got to let them know the deadlines. This
is the first time I'm actually announcing a deadline before I actually post it online. We're doing a call for submissions for St. Patrick's Irish-themed poetry. The deadline's going to be we're going to start accepting submissions tomorrow, Sunday, March 2nd, and we're going to accept until Sunday, March the 8th.
And when is St. Patrick's Day?
I'm sorry, until Saturday, March the 8th. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. St. Patrick's Day is going to be the following week, and I want to basically have a parade of poetry. And you can touch on any themes you want, whether it's being Irish, whether it's who can march on the St. Patrick's Day parade, or the time you almost got beat up in South Boston because someone almost spilled their beer on you and got mad at you.
I actually couldn't go there. See, I'm so privileged. I actually couldn't go there in my youth. I lived like blocks away from the Dorchester Day Parade and all these parades. I couldn't go there. I couldn't go there as a youth. I do want to say, Chad, because I'm sitting here with my peach brother and I'm his chocolate sister, and I couldn't go there, Chad. And Boston has changed. I do want to just, because I'm waxing on this just because we're some Bostonian-ish people, to use a Chad term, ish, and last-ish. Look out for those limericks. You know, things are moving. There's Black and Irish breakfasts, right, Chad? And
yes, there is.
Chad's doing the limericks. And also, you know, as a shout-out to Boston, I want to say, do you know this year, Representative Linda Dorsino-Forey is going to host the Irish breakfast that happens in Boston every year. I know somebody rails the governor or the mayor. So that's a brown Haitian woman who's married to a peach man, and homeboy, they used to publish a newspaper, or still do, in Boston. So things are a-changing, and we urge you, the PB&Jers, urge you to embrace it.
South Boston definitely has changed. I lived there before and had some kind of not so great memories about walking just on the streets during the parade. And last year, I actually, because my girlfriend lives in South Boston, I actually enjoyed the parade. Actually, was it a year or 2 years ago? Actually, 2 years in a row now. Actually, last year, I joined the ranks in watching the parade and actually enjoyed myself for the first time. And I'm looking forward to actually doing it again.
We love you, Boston and Cambridge, most of the time. Because that's how it is in life. That's just how it is. Dualities or triumvirates. Shout outs to Tisha Hood and Miss Josie, who I worked with for the past month. Shout out to all poets. Are we gonna leave with shout outs before Rudy Rudacious?
I guess we've been shouting out all this time, but I got one more I almost forgot about. The poet known as All Eyes on Me.
Hey.
I had a fantastic open mic that I witnessed. In the audience were a variety of poets such as VCR and others, hosted by All Eyes on Me, and actually held at the library on Tremont Street near Mission Hill. It was a plethora of poets, but also just community members, including one or two women who I struck a conversation with. I said, "Are you going to tell a story, or are you doing a poem?" And she's like, "No, I just."
You went to that? Oh, yeah. You were so lucky. Beautiful pictures
Jason
too on Facebook.
Yeah.
I know. I saw them. I saw the pictures. I didn't see you, but I did see Jason in his green. I guess he was bringing the Irish early up in Roxbury. We know they used to dwell there.
Yeah, I don't think All Eyes has Jason as a Facebook friend yet, because he tagged me instead of Jason.
Y'all got to get on Facebook. I'm not trying to tout them, but that's where we are, and this is where you can get all this information. And Morel Guinness, that's what his name is on Facebook. He took some photos. It's some pretty good photos on there. So,
fantastic photographer.
PB&J. We've talked a little poetry. We've talked a little Billy Barnum, who we urge you to support on this March 1st night. But we're going to get out of here. I am Chad Parenteau. He is
Tony B.
And Jason Wright. Our triplet is not here tonight, but that's okay, because we're going to go out with something that we think he'd like.
Oh, definitely. I'm friending this guy one time.
Rudy Rudacious?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's the man. Of course, Providence fame, Lizard Lounge fame. Of course, you have to listen to the words. Listen to the words, people. Of course, we found this on SoundCloud. I'm his Facebook friend. Join us now. Stone Soup, Oddball Hour. PB&J, we're going to take you out of here with some Mr. Rudy Rudacious.
Thanks for listening.
I eliminated suicide as an option to solving all my problems. The pen, mightier than swords, when tongues spit like guns. So I'ma preach that spit like someone passed the reverend, two loaded Mac 11. I'ma just stick 'em, 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 stick 'em.
Make sure you found me on SoundCloud.
Dumb brothers. We ain't spitting bars. Y'all getting this dance work. Know what I'm talking about? Throw your hoodies on. This feels like that real cold South Bronx shit. Know what I'm talking about? Dumb brother. Feel the rain. Forensics will appear when I'm finished. Ambulances will start ringing any minute. The chalk will outline a microphone. I said forensics will appear when I'm finished. Ambulances will start ringing any minute. The chalk will outline a microphone because I